I'm going to talk about the big sky event that happened on the night of May 10th, just a few weeks prior to this class, and this was the aurora that was visible as far south as Virginia and points south of Virginia, North Carolina, and such. This picture, and it was because of strong geomagnetic activity from the surface of the sun, the strongest solar flares and such that have been seen in about 21 years. It's called a G5 solar event. And basically, you're getting a stream of energy from the sun, not the energy we think of in terms of heat and light and stuff, but a stream of geomagnetic energy that enters at the Earth's poles where there's a little break in our geomagnetic field, and then that excites electrons way up in the atmosphere, about hundreds of miles up in the ionosphere, which is not where we talk about our weather, which is the troposphere, which is water and stuff. So this is a kind of a separate field, but it's interesting. I want to share this with you because we hear about the northern lights and see the aurora pictures all the time from areas north of us in Virginia, but this actually you could see far south. Just a few pictures I saw on the X feed last night from Bill Cardis, a meteorologist in Utica, New York, shared this picture, said it looked like flickering lights there. Kevin Myatt, who blogs about the weather from Southwest Virginia, posted these pictures from near Roanoke, Virginia, and he gives a little scientific explanation of what was going on with the aurora, but it was just interesting how he shared this. He, again, had great pictures he shared on his social media feed. This is from Northeast Ohio. On the X feed, I saw this again from Sam Roberts, who used to work at Channel 12 in Richmond when I worked there, and she said, I never thought I would be able to see this in Ohio. I thought I'd have to go to Iceland to see this. I can now check it off my bucket list. This is from Jeff Hanowich, WSLS-TV chief meteorologist in Roanoke, Virginia, who shared these pictures from a viewer who shared them with him, Tim Greer in Patrick County. Just spectacular pictures. This is a post shared by Al Conklin, who is a meteorologist at WBTV in Charlotte, North Carolina. He shared this post from his X feed, and again, this is a picture of the aurora, but this is from somebody who was flying at 30,000 feet on a transatlantic flight from Denver to Paris. And then finally, we have this post from Capital Weather Gang and tons of other posts as well on social media on the morning of May 11th. But this is Capital Weather Gang, our news story on this exceptional extreme geomagnetic storm and its phenomenal display of the northern lights. And I can share you the link to that, where you can just Google that story. But that was posted on May 11th. All right. So just great information here to share. Let's go to the actual site where this information about this coming up in terms of the forecast originated. And then one of those sites was from NOAA. It's called Space Weather Prediction Center. And let's switch gears and take a quick look at that. All right, this is the Space Weather Prediction Center website, and the URL there you can see at the bottom, swpc.noaa.gov. And they just give the forecast information for space weather. And again, a reminder, space weather is not like the weather we would typically think about. It's related to the geomagnetic activity, solar flares, sunspot activity, that sort of thing. That is kind of energy, more or less, that we're seeing transferred from the sun that is not what we'd normally think of as the sun's energy, which would be our sunlight that we see or the heat, that sort of thing. It's geomagnetic storms and such. And this is their forecast graphic that they shared on their site there. And this says it has key messages. It was giving the prediction of it, how it was a very rare event. Reports of power outages would be possible, they said, in their forecast. And some disruption to GPS and cell phone signals, that sort of thing. And then they gave a map here, and actually I'm showing what was on the feed, their feed, the morning of May 11th, but this is their previous statement about the aurora coming up from that they posted previously. So I just went to that section on their website. But there you can see they predicted where you could see the aurora for this as their aurora forecast. So they routinely give aurora forecasts on their site, so you can always check that out if you're interested in seeing, well, when will the next one be that I can see. And this forecast, again, shows the probabilities of seeing that aurora. And notice, it goes pretty far south in latitudes where this one was visible. So pretty remarkable because of what they call the G5 conditions. You can see it says G5 conditions reached yet again with an exclamation point. It's very rare to have that intensity of solar flare conditions or geomagnetic activity. And because it was so intense, that's why the aurora this time was so much stronger and significant, and you could see it farther south. So that's it. Just a quick word about that in your extreme weather and science in the news section about the aurora. Technically not weather as we think about it, but certainly a fascinating sky event that peaked in this month of May 2024. Very unusual to see that at the far southern latitudes.